Good evening, everyone, and welcome you all to the sixth webinar in the series of Learn from Industry Intellects. So, I am Rudmi Sandaruani, the lecturer probationary attached to the Department of Tourism Management of the Faculty of Management Studies of the Sabaragamuwa University. So, thank you for taking your time out and being here with us today. So, today the title will be The Digital Marketing for Tourism and Hospitality. So as we all know, today the digital transformation has become the biggest driver in businesses. So this online webinar will be a great opportunity for you to understand how to use the digital marketing to transform the tourism and hospitality businesses in this digital era. So with that, I would like to introduce the resource person for the today's webinar. He is Mr. Sanjeev Gabrial. So he is the manager, the e-marketing of Nkar Travels and Tours, and he's in managing the Insight Resort Ahangama. So if I'm just looking back into his career timeline, so Mr. Sanjeev Gabrial started his career in this field of online marketing in 1999 as an online marketer attached to the Crescent Library, Colombo, and worked there for almost 10 years' time. And then in 2009, he joined hand with Proportal Limited as an online marketer. After the 2 years of time, he promoted as the online marketing and accounting manager. And he gave his contribution for nearly 6.5 years' time. And in 2016, Mr. Sanjeev Gabrial joined with Nkar Travels and Tours Limited as an assistant manager in marketing and immediately promoted as manager in marketing. So from 2017 up to the present, he is managing 3 business modules of the company, the managing inbound tours, outbound travels and holidays, and Nkar's 3-star beach resort, the Insight Resort Ahangama. So at the same time, he is contributing a lot for the Sabaragamuwa University, and he has conducted 2 workshops in the same topic for our previous batches as well. So, and the same time, he has contributed for us in curriculum development events of the university. So, I would like to thank Mr. Sanjeev for taking your time and join with the webinar to share your knowledge with our students. So, at the same time, before moving ahead for the discussion, I would like to introduce the ground rules of today's webinar. So, all the attendees are muted just to avoid some background noises and disturbances from your end. And if you're having any question while the discussion is going on, you can put all these questions into the chat toolbox, and we are going to take all your questions into the discussion at the latter part of our webinar. So last 30 minutes has been allocated for the Q&A session. And we are not permitting the individual recording. So if you want to view the whole video, we are going to upload it to our official YouTube page, the Tourism in Paradise. So you can watch our previous webinars as well as the upcoming webinars if you want to log in, if you can log into our official YouTube page. Okay. So, and at the same time, I would like to remind you all, just subscribe to our YouTube page and don't forget to click on the bell icon to get our uploadings of the future. Okay, so with that, I think I would like to move ahead and give time for our resource person. So, Mr. Sanjeev.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes. So, you are welcome, and I would like to welcome you to the onboard, and you can carry on your discussion.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I will give you the control over to you.
Yeah. That's easy.
Okay. I have done it.
Thank you so much. And yeah, before I start, I would like to thank especially Sandaruani and then, of course, Hiran. I cannot forget you too. So yeah, it's a great privilege actually, to join on your webinar series and share the knowledge that I have gained throughout my career in the digital marketing industry or other field. So good evening, everyone. I know you all can hear me, but unfortunately, I cannot see you and I cannot talk to you this time. But yeah, I've had a great time doing the one whole day workshop there in Sabaragamuwa University consecutively last 2 years. And it was, yeah, it was really a fantastic experience for me. And not only that, the feedback that I've got has really motivated me to teach others and, you know, share my experience, especially with the students and also those who are interested in learning the digital marketing. So with that, again, once again, thank you so much. And I'm gonna, you know, it was quite a bit of a tough task for me, because when you talk about digital marketing, there are so many elements that I need to talk through, but I've managed. I will try to, you know, do my presentation within my time frame, and then in between, if there is any question, like Sandharuni mentioned, that you can put on here on the chat bot, and we will see if we can reply or answer all your concerns and questions. So I will start with what is digital marketing. So as Sandharuni mentioned about my career growth or career history of my career, yeah, I started in 1999 September, and at that's the time where the internet was baby to Sri Lanka, and I was selling. Actually, I was selling natural Sri Lankan gemstones on eBay and the website. So there were no Facebook at that time.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Sanjeev, you can
Okay.
carry on.
Okay. So what is digital marketing is the biggest question everybody asks. So let me quickly explain a few things at the beginning. And I have actually planned my presentation with different timelines or different subjects, covering all of them as much as possible that I can do. And also to give a nutshell information about all these main important elements. So when you talk about digital marketing, the easiest definition that we can give is the process of reaching out and engaging with your customers using through digital media, which is internet, email, mobile, social media now. So you can, you know, broaden that list to a bigger number now. So there are two elements when you talk about digital marketing. One is reaching and another one is engaging. So when we talk about digital marketing, we always have to have these two important elements in our mind or in our planning when we do any planning, because I'm going to talk through the planning, or how do you plan your digital marketing strategy and so and so. So when I talk about that, you will understand reaching out and engaging through digital is what you call digital marketing. So let me quickly run through these initial slides, and then we'll go into details of certain of these important elements of digital marketing. So when you talk about digital marketing, it starts with e-commerce. We know big giant e-commerce players are there in the world, and also, or not only in the world, there are some in Sri Lanka as well. So, and the other names that we always hear is, people say SEO, people say SMM, people say SEM, people say PPC, you know. So these terms, when you talk about digital marketing, these words you cannot ignore in any presentation that you talk about digital marketing. So search engine optimization is SEO, social media marketing is SMM, and search engine marketing is SEM. So and so. So there are email marketing, content marketing, mobile marketing. And also I have, I'm gonna talk a little bit about OTA, which is the online travel agency, and few web analytics and tools that you can use in order to, you know, evaluate how well you are doing your digital marketing for your company or for your organization whatsoever. So, so bear with me that I'm going to talk to you through some important elements of these digital marketing areas. And I'm actually planning to talk more on social media marketing, and I'm actually planning a little bit on search engine marketing, where the Google advertisement, PPC, everything comes in place. And I'm going to talk about SEO, because in Sri Lanka, understanding SEO and implementing the SEO best practices to the website, I don't see that many people are putting their much effort on doing that. So I will definitely talk about that one. And also email marketing, It's one of the key element of digital marketing. And blog, I'm not going to talk about much about blog. Everybody knows what it is, but we'll talk a little bit of that, mobile marketing and OTAs plus analytics and certain tools that you can use. So let me begin with some important statistics that you should know when you talk about digital marketing. So this information is available on Hootsuite, a website you can download any year. Every year in January, they publish this report online, so you can download it from their website. So digitally, this is how it looks like. Total population was 7.7 billion, and then 5.19 billion unique mobile phone users, 4.54 billion are internet users in among that, and active social media users is 3.8 billion. So imagine when we talk about digital marketing, these are the numbers that we should always have it in our mind, that when you put something on your internet, when I say internet, on your website, it can be on your website, it can be on your social media, you have a ability to reach this much of people who are using internet and social media. So there is an interesting slide which shows us the year-on-year growth. If you see the population growth was 1.1%, but if you see the active social media users, it's 9.2% growth year-on-year. So which shows the people are coming on board on social media platforms and started using that. And also the internet users, as you can see, it has grown by 7%, and unique mobile users are 2.4%, where even the population was only increased by 1.1%. So just the reason I have been sharing these statistics, we must definitely understand that this is growing much faster, more than what you and I think. But then these are the places that we are going to do our marketing through the digital platforms. So let me show you a quick snapshot of how the internet was penetrated among the regions. As you can see, North America was 88%, but Western Europe was 92%, and Northern Europe is 95%. So these many penetration happen in any day, for that matter. So Western Asia 72, Northern Africa 53. Of course, we know the facilities that they have there, but Southern Asia and then Oceania, all of these regions, you can have a look at it. Why I am sharing this slide is more important is because when we talk about tourism, so when we talk about our products or our marketing strategy, we should understand, okay, this much of penetration is happening in these regions, so we can invest more time in doing our marketing in order to reach our particular audience. So I will be talking about audience, I will be talking about the targets, all of that will be coming in the latter part of the presentation. So this slide, I can still remember when I came and when I did the presentation there in Sabaragamuwa, I had this slide with me. Unfortunately, I don't have now to share that with you, but at that time, which is about only 2 years ago, in my first workshop, this monthly mobile data use average was showing only 3.6% or 3.8%. Even you can go to the internet, you can go to Hootsuite and find out, but when I download this year's statistics, it was massively grown to 7.2 GB. So what is this? You think like everybody is using internet, yeah, but we can think, okay, they may be streaming online on YouTube and watching movies or songs or whatever. But just remember, this is the mind we have. This is the important thing we should understand. Okay, this many GB is consumed average by a person averagely, so that we can do our marketing to reach this population or the people who use the data, right? And then when I quickly go into the next slide, I'm going to quickly play a small video clip because I don't want to continuously talking to you all. So maybe you might get bored. Just listen and watch this video which will show you why digital marketing is important. Okay, so every 20 seconds, this many links are shared. I think the audio is not playing for some reason. It was playing when we test before. Yeah, so 6 billion hours of usage on YouTube, and tweets, massive number of tweets per day, as you can see in the next. Yeah. So this much of interaction is happening on a daily basis. And when I give my introduction on my first slide, it was about e-commerce. So when we talk about digital marketing, e-commerce, everybody knows we have been using to purchase our products or services online on the internet. So that is basically what e-commerce is. So e-commerce is selling electronic, or which means is buying or selling goods and services, or transmitting funds or data. Or my career in digital marketing, this is what I was doing. Working in one of the giant in e-commerce, which is eBay, and ebay.com was launched in 1996. But I had a privilege of started working with the ebay.com system from 1999 September to 2009 September. For that 10 years, what I've been doing, my primary job role was to sell my products on eBay in particular. So e-commerce is that, as I told you, these are the biggest players in e-commerce. We talk about booking.com, that is one OTA, giant OTA. And Alibaba, you must be knowing AliExpress, and Amazon, eBay, Make My Trip, Trivago, Airbnb, all these websites, we all know these are the giants of e-commerce. What they do, they buy or sell their products or services. So how do they grow this much is by understanding the potential of people going online and doing their purchasing online. So that's the reason, as Sandharuni explained, that I was working for a local company called Crescent Lapidary for 10 years. And then I joined the UK company for 6 years, and I was supervisor online marketing. And I was managing about 7 eBay stores and 7 Amazon stores, where we were selling mobile phone accessories. So there is, if you talk about the potential, if you talk about what things you can do in the internet marketing or e-commerce, is massive and absolutely unbelievable when we talk about the numbers. So why e-commerce? When we talk about e-commerce, okay, we should understand why e-commerce, because you can do a global business using that, and round the clock availability, the speed, which means from here you can do any purchasing anytime, and then the global reach, global market development, reliability, technical advancements and support. So when we talk about technical advancements, because I recently had a meeting with one of the OTA, and I've got to know that their research and development department alone is investing millions and millions of dollars in order to develop their future technology enhancements and advancements. So what we see is not what we are going to see in another 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, because there will be a massive change, improvements and enhancements is going to take place in all these big players. But there is a problem. There is always challenge in whatever we do. So there are challenges in e-commerce as well, which can be, the major thing is cyber attack. Hope you would have seen about a couple of days ago, main Sri Lankan 2 website got hacked by some hackers, which is the government websites. And when our president's website was hacked by a small guy, or rather a student. So yeah, there is a threat, there is a challenge that there is there is cyber attacks, there is hacking, and confidential issues. This is the problem that mostly everyone has. Also lack of knowledge, where when we talk about digital marketing, when we talk about doing digital marketing to any company or any organization, what we see is the lack of knowledge and lack of the confidential issue, like what we do, how do we do, how much of a return on investment we get. So these are the things, first of all, we need to address when we talk about digital marketing. And there is restrictions in e-commerce as well, and high risk level and compatibility issues. So yeah, one person is saying cyber attacks, which is the hacking or cyber attacks, which I mentioned. Okay, so let's quickly go through. I'm going to quickly run through these slides because I'm going to talk more about SEO and social media marketing. So evolution of marketing started from production era to all these era, and now we are in digital marketing era. So any organization, any company, for me, I'm actually now saying that even during this COVID-19 situation, everybody is locked down, and there is only one way that you can do your purchasing is by online. And there are companies who are doing these kind of services nowadays. So I believe that everybody should understand, having a small business, it can be a small business, but any business now is going to have, it is a must that you should have a proper website and a good social media platform. I was listening to one speech by Jack Ma recently, where he talks about how 2030 will be. So he said, there won't be any regional markets moving forward. He said there will be an internet market. So this is what his vision about 2030. So that's gonna happen soon. So we are talking about digital marketing era, when the eras have been changed rapidly. So in digital marketing era, we can do all online operations, businesses and e-commerce, social media marketing. So these are the things, as I mentioned, I'm going to talk. But when we talk about digital marketing, now we are talking about, I'm narrowing down that to the tourism sector. Okay, so in tourism sector, what we have understood and realized, there are some key influential factors that we need to understand. Because if we know the influential factors only, we will be able to plan out according to the influential factors to start our marketing and the campaigns properly. So as you can see, one influential factor is a psychological influences, which can be their perception, it can be their choice, their image. They must be having an image about where they are going, and their attitude and the rest. So let me just explain you how it will be. So when we talk about the perception, we need to understand, how do you understand the external environment, and then the choices. So how many options that they have. The image, as I told you, they have a picture in their mind. This is how I'm gonna have my holiday in. And attitude wise, of course, thinking about whether they are thinking positively or negatively, and the risk factor as well. So now what we have there is about the travelers having a risk of traveling out of their own countries, is because of the COVID-19. There is anyway a risk factor is there. So that is one psychological factor we need to understand, and we need to manage it well. Right. So let me talk about the next influential factor in tourism is socio-demographic influential, which can be age, education, level of income, and socio-economic background of a person who is deciding, or who is planning to have their holiday. So these are the demographic influential factors, right? So let me quickly, before we now, as I told you, now I have explained why e-commerce is important. I have explained what are the key influential factors in tourism. So let me quickly show you in a 4 or 5 slides that the global tourism, and how tourism is showing in terms of Sri Lanka, in terms of figures. So as you can see, up until 2019, and 1.5 billion international tourist arrivals are there. These stats have been taken from UNWTO, and you can go and have a look. So international tourism grew by 4% year on year, and every 1% out of 10 is occupied some way in the tourism field, and it's the 10% of the world GDP, third largest industry in the world. Also, there is a expected tourist arrival in 2030 is 1.8 billion. What I'm thinking now, these statistics were done some time back. So with the COVID-19, there can be a small change in terms of the expectation by 2030, and we still don't know how it's going to take place in the coming days. So this was the global, but if I can talk to you, this is how the growth has happened in the international travel statistics. So it was 1.5 billion in 2019, where it was 1.4, 1.3 in 2017, 1.2 in 2016. So it was showing a massive growth in year on year. Then we talk about Sri Lankan growth pattern. So we all know that we have had a civil war in our country, but after war it was started climbing and everything looks really good, and we've had 2.3 million people coming into 2018, but 2019 unfortunately it went down to 1.9 million due to, as we all know, is because of the Easter attack took place. So this is the pattern for Sri Lanka, but there is a vision for Sri Lankan tourism, and in the strategic plan 5-year plan that the tourism board has prepared, in that to be a high value destination offering extraordinary experience that reflects Sri Lanka's natural and cultural heritage, and social inclusive and environmentally responsible, and provide economic benefit to the communities and the country. So I believe this vision will be there up until it will be there forever, because this is how any country's tourism can grow by having a proper vision for the future years. So this is Sri Lankan tourism. As I mentioned, international tourism and Sri Lankan tourism is that way. But we all know that we are locked down and we are all living in a pandemic situation, but we all believe that this is going to change soon. In fact, you must be knowing that Sri Lankan government is thinking of starting opening the airport, and other countries are going to start opening their airports, but it will be different. As we all know, it's going to be a new normal. So we are adapting to the new normal. So even considering that we are going to live in a world where we call that we are going to live in a new normal, we need to understand how we do our strategical marketing plan when we do that in terms of digitally as well. Because even if you switch on the TV, what are the ads that you see mostly? It's about sanitizers, it's about some hand wash, it's about masks. So what is that? They are trying to use the opportunity to market their product and services. So here, same thing, we should understand, okay, how do we build our marketing strategy when we talk about the bounce back, or how we restart as a destination known for relaxation and known for many other reasons, but we need to understand that factor as well. Okay, so basically, if anybody asks what is your current social media strategy is like, people will have a small pause. I have had so many conversations with so many people in the past. So when we ask what is your marketing strategy is like, this is the picture. This is the picture that I can understand from everybody. So I'm going to take you through this small picture. So there was a planning meeting that okay, we will go on Facebook, we will do the Instagram, we will do Twitter and everything, but what we do, we will figure it out. But it's not the way that you plan it. So people used to say it's so complicated. People used to say there is no time. Okay, but if you, yeah, I don't have time. These are the answers that I have got in the past. So dear friends, if you think that if you have not planned properly, if you are not tracking your social media, you risk in wasting your more time, wasting more money, losing tons of opportunities, and also hurting your brand. So when we talk about destination marketing, or if you are talking about promoting Sri Lanka to any other part of the world, we must all understand and plan our strategy according to what we are trying to offer. So now, as I was reading, as I was participating in few webinars and workshops online, what I understand, Sri Lanka has more potential when you talk about tourism. One is Sri Lanka, another one is Maldives, and the rest of the other countries would be more beach resorts, or sorry, beach destinations rather. Why? People are locked down in their houses for months. So people, when they want to go out, they don't want to go out to the entire countries and explore each and every places. So when they plan their holiday next time, they will plan and they will come and they will based in one place, and they will relax and they will go back. So this is going to happen when we open up our country for tourism as well. So bearing that in mind, we should identify what are the important elements that we need to do when we talk about social media marketing. So identify the right persona or audience. Now, so for example, when we are planning our marketing strategy, there is always on Facebook that you can target particular country, particular city, or even in the city you can target particular radius of kilometer. There are demographic wise and language, or even men or women, up to so many the segmentation you can do when you do the audience. So we need to think about, okay, which is the market we are going to do the digital marketing, and find the right platforms as well, because there are countries that we need to do a small bit of a research. We need to understand which countries using more Twitter, which countries are more using Instagram, and which countries are heavily using Facebook. So identifying those platforms and investing money on those platforms to do our marketing would be the best way to get the better return on investment, and also improve our social campaigns, and also benchmark against the competition. So these are the things that we need to have it in our mind when we plan our digital marketing strategy. So if you don't know which metrics matters before you start measuring, you will get lost in the mountain of data. I like this sentence all the time, because whenever we sit together, whenever put our heads in one marketing campaign, we always sit and find out which is the best place to market and what is the audience to market. So this is another important element you need to do. And also when you plan, it is not only the plan, you must have your goal also along with your plan. So I like planning, defining your goals in a smart way. So those smarts are specifically, and it has to be measurable, it has to be achievable, and it has to be realistic, of course, and timely. So if your goals are defined in a smarter way, you can carry on along with your plan on your digital marketing with your smart goals. You can do better reach and better followers. So when you define your social media marketing goals, there is much more potential and possibility that you can increase your social media presence, which is in terms of number of followers count, and the traffic, of course, the traffic from social media to your website, and improve your brand image, and of course the brand reach and awareness, and also the top influential revenues. So these are the things that you can gain when you define your goals properly along with your planning. So remember, when you set your goals, always be smart. When I say smart, those smart have 5 different meaning rather. It has to be specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic. Also, it has to be a timely one. Right. Let me quickly go through this one. This is another interesting picture that I would like to share and discuss. In Sri Lanka, what I have seen, we all talk about influential marketing. So there are plenty of people who call themselves as influencers and try to become an influencer and do the marketing for them. But as you can see, I may have the person may have a big fan base. His media kit can be a massive number, but if he is only 12 years old, who will be his followers base? His followers base also will be more or less the same age group. So, and we as a company, we are also starting and coming and saying, okay, do something millennial. This is where we do the mistake in digital marketing, especially using influential marketing. So influential marketing is another key element when you plan your digital marketing strategy, because when you restart a country like Sri Lanka, definitely need to invest time and money in order to do influential marketing to bring the tourists back from each and every destination to our country, because people would love to come and spend their holiday here, and then they talk about how they experience their holiday in Sri Lanka, and that's going to bring more business to the country. So that's another important thing. But mind, again, I'm telling, when you talk about influential marketing, there is always a term that we call a media kit. We call it as a media kit. So you request the media kit from the person who is the influencer, and he will give you the media kit. So the media kit will have his Facebook followers, his Twitter followers, his Instagram followers, and their details and everything in it. So then you can evaluate who is the audience, then you invest on influential marketing. So when you must definitely have that in mind, and also improve your social media efforts on a regular basis. So increase social presence and engagement. So post regularly. This is what you have to do. Post often and regularly. Choose the best time. So I couldn't share all the information in this session, but there are tools that you can use in order to schedule your post. Okay, so there is a website called Buffer. Similar, there are so many other websites. What you can do, you can identify which time your follower base is active, and you can schedule your post on any platform in a single click in the same time. So having that is much more important, and engage with your community, whoever, follow, comment, share, and also giveaways and contests are much more important, and leverage your user generated contents. You must have heard about UGCs, we call user generated contents. In fact, in my presentation, my last few slides going to be explaining more about user generated contents, because I believe that is much, much, much more important when you talk about digital marketing. And that's the reason I'm going to finish the session with that slides. So wait for that. I will have more detail about UGCs. So improve your social media marketing effect. Redesign your social images. Always think about coming up with something creatively, because I have seen very basic picture, very basic footer, very basic information. It's not gonna bring more attractions in your post. For example, I'll tell you one case, one of my personal experience. When we do the outbound marketing, as I told you, as Sandroni explained, yeah, I'm handling inbound, I'm handling outbound, and I'm handling a hotel. So I believe I'm the luckiest person to be in the industry where I involved in all major three components of tourism. So in that, there was once our creative designer and our team, we were planning to put our post on Facebook. So I said, this is it. Everybody is doing what they do. Okay, there is a 3-night 4-day package to Bangkok or Thailand. Okay, this is the price. But what I came up with the idea, why don't we mention what is the aircraft that we are using? What is the carrier we are using? Because it is not mentioned. So why I did that was, anybody can promote, for example, Malaysia for a lower package rate if they are using low cost carriers, or we call LCCs. Okay, but what I said, okay, why don't you put as this Malaysian airline logo or Sri Lankan logo if they are flying with, because there may be customers who are loyal or who are, frequent flyers with those aircrafts, and they will be interested in using that package even though by paying extra money. So it is not the the amount that matters. It is the information that we need to put in the flyer is the most important one. Okay, so I started putting the logo in one corner with all the information in the EDM, which will say, 3 night 4 days, okay, 3-star BB accommodation, airport transfer, everything, but there will be a logo of the aircraft, or rather the carrier. So that gives the weightage when anybody sees it. So likewise, redesign your social media images. That can give you a better result. Also, CTAs are much, much, much more important as the graphics or the creative designs you do. So the CTA stands for call to action, right? So the call to action has to be specific, and that call to action need to make anybody reading the post to make an action. So which can't be always say book now, we can't always say buy now, we can't always say sign up. So we need to be very creative when we create the CTA. So that's why I mentioned tweak your call to action if you are not getting much response or interaction to your post. And use paid advertisement. Definitely, you need to have the organic visit, also the paid visits on your social media platforms, and obviously improve your audience targeting. Sometimes, even what I have experienced in the past, so we know high disposable income areas in Sri Lanka, so we identify what is the high disposable income cities. So we target the city, and then we target a certain kilometer radius to do our marketing in Facebook. So we need to always improve our audience marketing by even specifying the interest of the users. So in Facebook you can do all of that. So bearing that in your mind, I will quickly show you a screen where these are some of the campaign on the on Facebook that we have ran. So I'm hiding what are the campaigns that is showing you the result, but I want to just show you the numbers of results and impression for the money that you spend. So this is purely a Facebook ad manager's statistics, where you can see on the first one, we have spent, say for example, if you spend $80, the impression is more than 1 million, and then the result are 311,000, which means people interact. It can be like, it can be share, it can be a comment. 300,000 results in that one. So just imagine, if you put more money, your reach is more and your response will be more. So this is a small screen I would like to share with you. Always remember, track, measure, and improve. If you don't do this in your social media marketing, obviously you are, as I showed you in the previous slide, you're wasting more time, you're wasting more money, and you're wasting your proper target audience as well, right? So that is the social media strategies when we that I would like to talk. And I'm going to quickly take you through some of the SEO trends, or the information that you need to understand when you talk about search engine optimization. So in the past, even I was under the impression, when you talk about search engine optimization, it is the page title, it is the title on the website. There are certain elements only we know. So dear friends, it's like this. SEO, or search engine optimization, is really, really very important when you create a website. Okay, why? Because Google has become the major search engine in the world. People used to go and browse and search for any product or service or website. So Google have their own way of doing their algorithm. Okay, so there is a particular time where the Google algorithm will be different, and in certain times it will change. So there is a time where within Google they change this search engine algorithm like about, I think about 40, 50 times a year, because they know people are clever. Sometimes even Google is clever, but there are cleverer people outside. So what they do some different practices in order to get their website on top. So Google understands that's happening, so they always change the algorithm so that they push the proper website on top when we search a particular keyword or a search phrase. Okay, so let me quickly show you some of the definitions in SEO, or rather search engine optimization. So SE stands for search engine. That is the tool that enables users to locate information in the World Wide Web. Okay, so search engine use keywords entered by the user to find the website. Okay, so always remember, when we type, okay, www.google.co.uk or google.com, whatever, and then you type something, okay, digital marketing in Sri Lanka, that's the keyword. So Google search, Google index everything, and then they put the result on your result page. So I will explain you how that is happening quickly, but let me try to explain this bit. So web directory, we all know there are directories on web, where that we go and enter our details in those directories. So often they are picked by human on for particular categories. Okay, so SEO and SEM, we know SEO is search engine optimization, SEM is search engine marketing. These two are different two elements, two very important elements when you talk about digital marketing, okay, or social media, rather the digital marketing, right? And then imagine there is, if anybody talk about digital marketing, they talk about SEO and SEM. And I will show you in my next slide what is SEO and what is SEM, okay? Right. So in other definitions, we should understand is PER, which is the page rank, that is purely developed by Google. And we call PPC, that is the pay per click. That's for online payment, advertising payment model, in which, you know, that will be paid for each and every qualifying click-throughs. And CTR is the click-through rate. That is how they measure how many advertisements are being clicked. And of course, we know about blogs. Okay, so two key internet marketing strategies which I mentioned before. One is SEO, one is SEM. So SEO, search engine optimization, there is no cost per click. Okay, basically you can understand in two ways. There is no cost per click for search engine optimization, but there is a cost per click when you talk about search engine marketing. So I'm going to quickly take you through few important elements in SEO, and then few important elements in search engine marketing. So, okay, let me explain this in this way. We create a website, we register a domain, we have our hosting, and we create a website using WordPress or PHP or any language, and we call, okay, we have a website. My dear friends, that's not going to help anybody unless you do your proper search engine optimization. So there are technical terms. I'm sorry that I need to talk about technical terms when you talk about search engine optimization, and also search engine marketing. That is purely on Google advertisements, right? So in search engine optimization, people used to talk about a lot in search engine optimization, and that has been rapidly changing, as I mentioned to you before. So SEO is the act of modifying a website to increase its ranking in organic versus paid on crawler-based listing of each search engines. Okay, so this is the important thing we need to understand when you talk about SEO. Okay, and how do organic search results work? This is how it works. As I mentioned to you, we buy a domain, we create a website, we host it in a server, but there are lots of other elements we need to do in the back end. So there is a spider, or we call it a scroller, comes from Google, and it scrolls the website and it stores entire thing in the Google servers, or we call it as search engine index. So that will be saved in the index. So anybody search on particular names, the crawler knows that the search is for this one, and they pull from the index and they display in the SCP search result page. We call SRPs. Okay, so that is how the search engine have to be optimized, or rather SEO has to be updated in each and every pages in order to come on top of your Google page result. So this is the latest statistics. Google is the big player when you talk about search engine. We know Google, and we know Bing, we know Baidu, we know Yahoo, and we know Yandex, which is used by Russians. Okay, so 87.35% is the market share that Google is having when you talk about Google search, right? So we all must understand, when you have a website, you always have to focus to get your website on the first 5 or 10 page results in your SRP or search result page. Okay, there's a good saying. I used to say this in any workshop that I do. You can even commit a murder, or you can murder someone, and when you hide the murder case in the second page of Google, nobody will find it, because nobody goes to the second page. So there was a saying like this, which I like, to be honest. Why that much important getting your website on 1, 2, 3, or first top, I would say 10 search result page, right? So these are the key elements. I'm going to quickly take you through the key elements of the SEO. One is domain. I will be a little bit speed now because I need to catch a lot of other slides to finish. So domain name is much more important when you talk about search engine optimization. Okay, there can be people who have lengthy domain names, but that's not search engine friendly, I would say. So use the keyword, use the product name, then it is easier for Google to identify this is the website that people are referring to see. That is how we need to make the Google domain name. And also link strategies, which is the link building. So we need to have proper links in our website in order to rank in the better way. So a link relevancy is another critical thing in getting your site indexed in search engine results. Okay, so and we need to have inbound links, which is a good inbound links. We call inbound links from a well-ranked website. If you have a link in your website, there is possibility that your website will come on top. Okay, and also you should have some good outbound links, which is going out of your website, but to a very good or LT ranked websites. Okay, so that's another thing we need to understand and keep it in mind. So number 3 in search engine optimization is the keywords. This is the most important in optimizing your ranking. Okay, because the keyword phrases people are using are the keywords that we need to use in our website. So there is a tool called Google Keyword Planner. You can use this planner. You can type and see what is the trend for a particular keyword, how many times it has been searched in particular country. So likewise, you can do a small research, and then you can insert those keywords into your website so that the organic visit will grow automatically. Okay, I'll tell you a good example. Once in my previous company where I was working on Proporta, the UK company, there was a product launch. Hope you all know, everybody is having a power bank, right? External charger, a portable power bank. So our company named that as turbocharger. So I said, turbocharger, nobody is going to search turbocharger on ebay.com. I said, I was really against that name, but there was a branding guideline. So initial 2-3 months, we were selling about 10-15 turbochargers a month. I said, look here, give me freedom. Let me change the name and let me show you the result that if I change the name, I can sell more. So with a special permission obtained from my management, I changed that turbocharger into portable charger, emergency charger, power banks. Certain keywords I inserted in the title And there is a tricky thing in eBay. You can have, I think, 70 characters or 80 characters page product title. So I've had my title changed. We started selling about 100 to 120 turbochargers a month. So initially, the company decided to change that turbocharger to a portable charger. So this is the keyword research that you need to do in order to get your website organically on the search result page. Okay, so let me quickly go through the next one. The title tags, which is the example I mentioned in the in eBay. So it is important that we do the titling properly for each and every website. That is another important factor when you talk about search engine optimization. And meta description, you must have known about meta description, a small description where it talks about what is the website is for, or what the website serves. Things like that has to be there mentioned. And keywords are no longer meta keywords. There is another technical term we used before, but that is not mostly used. Alt tags are much important. Alt tags is, when you move your mouse over an image, there is a text you can see that we call alt tags. So that is important. And the last thing is we need to submit our website for indexing. So you need to have a webmaster tool in Google, and you need to submit your website in Google so that it gets indexed, and then it will be visible for anybody searches using these particular keywords, what you have defined in your website. So remember, these are the things important, and in a nutshell, these are the critical elements, which is the domain name, links, keywords, and title, meta description, alt tags, also submitting your website to the search engine. And what you don't do, or better not use flash or image only sites and frames and password protected page, or code errors. When you have those in your website, there is more possibility that your website will not come on top of any web search result page. So this is the screenshot that I would like to share. As you can see, the first on top, there is a keyword. So people are typing whatever they want to know. So that is free responsive WordPress theme. That is the search term. And as you can see, there is a small square with ad. Those are the paid advertisements, or those are coming through PPC campaigns. So for each and every click, we need to pay Google for advertising there. And the below, as you can see, another second box, that is the organic result that you have. And meta description tag, as you can see, it shows you in a nutshell what this website is for. So bearing in mind, all these informations are very much important when you do the search engine optimization. So I'm going to share my personal experience. Like when I joined join Nkar, Nkar.travelhouse.com domain was ranking at about 6.8 billionth place. Okay, 6.8 millionth place rather. Then in a month, it was improved to 4.4 millionth place. What is this? I'm using Alexa as a tool. In that Alexa, when you put a domain name, it will give you the global ranking. So I purely fixed all the SEO errors that website had at that time by using certain free tools to identify what are the errors that you have. So if you Google like free what you call search engine optimization tools, you can find out, and you can put your website URL. It'll do an analyze, and it'll give you suggestions like, okay, narrow your page title, your robot.txt file is missing, your title is not good. They will give you a suggestion. So basically, by improving that, I brought the website into 4.4 millionth place. And this is how the visit was improved in Google Analytics. So month over month, I put a period, and every sessions and users and page views were showing positive figures after we did the initial changes on SEO. And also at the end, by May, so what I was previously shared is October, but then December, January, because SEO, by fixing today, you can't see the result on the next day. As you can see, in May, with all the competitor websites, Nkar Travel House ranked 420,329th place. All the other names which is hidden, you name all the top travel agent company website in Sri Lanka. So I managed to fix all the SEO errors, and there was a time in Google Alexa, our website was showing 420,000 ranking. And dear friends, this is not by paying anybody, this is not by paying Google to advertise our website, but this is purely by fixing the SEO errors. Okay, so concentrate on SEO when you do the digital marketing, especially for market your website. Okay, so search engine marketing is another topic. That is where we pay Google to advertise our products, or rather our website, to become on top of the search result. Okay, so search engine marketing is about Google marketing, where we talk about paid inclusions. There are two types of paid advertisement. One is paid inclusions, and another one is paid placement. Okay, so paid inclusions are like, there will be the paid programs are there where the pages are guaranteed, and where you insert your website URL, and then you make a payment on a cost per click basis. Okay, that is, advertisers pay to be included in the directory on a CPC basis. So that is what you call paid inclusions. But what we all do is the sponsored link or Google ads. That is the paid placements. Okay, that's the paid advertisement program. We sign up with Google, and then you can do wonders by using Google ads, right? So I'm going to quickly show you. This is how some of the snippets that but I manage for our organization. As you can see, there are some certain keywords mentioned, and a number of clicks, number of impressions, as you can see in the first image. So by spending this much of money, you can get this much of clicks. That's what I want to show you. And this is purely doing Google campaigns. Okay, we call PPC, pay per click campaigns. And there were text. There are two types or three types. You can do text advertisement, you can do image advertisement, you can even do YouTube advertisements. So as you can see, the second image, which is the text advertisement, there are 3,700 clicks for that particular Google ad. I say, book your tickets with Nkar, last minute deals and offer. So that was the title. And then the advertisement is there. And we offer the lowest price for online airline ticketing in Sri Lanka. So that's the small description. Okay, so when anybody see that in the page result, that the number of impression is the time that it is displayed in Google search page. So 87,000, when anybody search, you know, book your ticket in Sri Lanka or travel agents in Sri Lanka, there are particular set of keywords that we have given for that advertisement. So 87,000 it has appeared, 3,700 clicks we have generated, which means those people have visited our website directly by clicking this paid advertisement. And as you can see in the third image, that is the display ads. So we have used images showing in different third-party websites, like there are blog sites, there are news sites. So this has been even given massive impressions, about 2.5, 2.5 and 3,200 clicks. Even though the CTR was low, our product has been displayed in so many places. And the last one is the interesting one, which is the YouTube advertisement. As you can see, in Sri Lanka, one of the famous channel is Travel with Wife. Hope you will have seen that YouTube channel. So I have targeted that channel, and I have ran a small advertisement in that channel, which has given me 33,000 impressions and 4,696 views. Okay, so these are the things you can do when you do do PPC campaigns using different avenues like text, image, or even YouTube advertisements, right? And also nowadays we talk about searching, going on Google and searching, but the voice search is going to get very strong in future. This already we see people are installing Alexa, people are installing Google, and they talk over the voice and then they get the result on the display, okay, on a smart TV or any other device. So that's important. We need to keep an eye, because I'm sure in a decade there won't be any Google searches. There will be mostly voice searches. Even I think my son used to take my phone and just say, "Hello Google, what's the time in America?" And it says. So people are getting used to use what? Voice searches, okay? So by 2020, this was the percentage, but in coming year, it's gonna increase. So it's already massively used. And also mobile will continue to get bigger and stronger. So people use mobile to do all the bookings, all their searches, all their purchasing. And then image also will have a prominent place, where always I say image talks louder than words. So when you put a proper image in your marketing campaigns, you get more result in no time, okay? Then focus on the videos. Absolutely. Do not forget, by only doing a better creative artwork, that's not going to help you out. So in 2017, people spent 60% more time on YouTube compared to 2016. That means many people are searching on YouTube rather going to Google first. So this is what's happening, my dear friends. So have your strategy placed by now itself. Start creating some stunning videos where that can help you to market your product or market your service or whatever you are trying to sell online. And I would like to show you a small clip. I don't know why, for some reason, the volume is not coming. Sandharwani, is there anything? Yeah, okay. So yeah. So 50th time the video search is, increased. The visitor will stay 2 minutes or longer than in a video. Right, 87% of online marketers will use videos, and also 65% of that will visit the website and make a purchasing decision. So focus on your video. That's an important part. So quickly, I'm going to show you with a few email marketing tips and why email marketing is important. So this is the guy who sent the first email. You can see that anyway. So his name is Ray Tamilson, and he's the one who has started sending email initially. So I'm going to skip this video, which is not important. I don't have much time to finish my session. So email marketing is directly marketing to a commercial message to a group of people built by loyal trust or brand awareness. So what we do is what I always say: when your business is running for a certain period of time, you must have your own database of your clients in your company. Okay, so those clients are your assets, because any of your new product or service, if you want to promote, don't try to go into somebody else. Try initially with your loyal customers. So in order to do that, you must have a proper email marketing strategy. So for that also, content is the king always. So when you have a proper content in your email, that is where your email doesn't get gone into a spam email, or rather given a good result when you send an email campaign. Okay, I'm going to show you why email marketing is important, because 80% of the content marketers use email marketing. Because of that, definitely you will have to use email marketing. And 55% of the companies generate more than 10% of the sales from email. So sometimes when we talk about email marketing, even I used to have conversation about this topic with more people, but they say, Sanjeev, this is spamming. Why we need to spam? I said, no, this is not spamming. If your content is proper, if your content is good, then you will have definitely a better result. Okay. So 42% of the business say email is one of their most effective lead generation channel. And I do still believe, along with social media, email marketing is something that we should not forget about doing and continuously doing it, because email has a larger reach, because whoever is online, they have an email address. Okay, so that's the reason that the reach will be even equal, and the email has more return on investment. Why? The average click-through rate on an email campaign is around 3%, where the statistics shows average click-through rate from a tweak is about 0.5. So which means when an email we receive on our mobile device, we quickly check what is it about, what was the title, is it a promotion, is it a discount, is it an early bird offer. So we quickly look into that one. But in Twitter, what happens, we need to go into Twitter, and then we see our feed and read our post and everything and go through that. But that's the reason the return on investment is much more higher when you do the proper email marketing. When I say again and again, proper email marketing. Otherwise, your brand is also ruined by people will say, oh, they are sending junk emails or spam emails. So that shouldn't happen in your one. So you always wonder, what do you write in your email campaign? These are the three things you can think of. What? Promote the benefit of your product or service, and share a case study, okay, and ask for feedback. This is something that everybody forgets to do. Okay, you have a super product, you have a super website, you have super customers, but we forget to ask their feedback. So that's more important. In order to get the feedback, use an email marketing campaign. Send them a questionnaire, send them a survey, get their feedback. So that's how you engage with your client. And a very important 5 elements are, again, the subject line, the sender's name, the image in the email content, in the email copy. Also, again, the call to action. Don't have a bold call to actions like sign up, like book now. Those are the common ones, but then you can come up with something very different. Book now and stay later or something like that. So this is a small screenshot of a good looking email campaign, a proper title, a proper image layout, and why they should read it. So this is the important thing you should ask. Before you do any email campaign, you always ask yourself a question: why do they have to open the email? Okay, so then you will come up with a proper subject line, proper content, and the relevant image. So the CTA, as I mentioned you, see, we always say buy now, but here they have said shop loafers. Yeah, so that's a different call to action. That is how your call to action has to be unique, right? And mind you, now this for example, this shop would have their own database of people who are coming and buying from their shop. So when you send a newsletter to their own database, there is more potential that you get some business from the existing clients itself. Okay. And there are plenty of free tools you can use. I have personally used MailChimp, and there are Sendinblue, SendGrid, all of these. They provide some up to certain number of emails free. And if you exceed that number of emails, you need to pay. So try out, say, using email marketing campaigns. So remember I mentioned about UGCs, which is user generated contents. So UGCs are very much important in terms of digital marketing, using their content by selling our product. When I say there, the people who have already purchased or people who have already experienced, they share the content on the social medias where with their permission, with their consent, you publish that in your pages where it reach more. See, have a look at this slide. 70% of the people trust the image taken from the people like them over a brand created image. Say, for example, if you create an image and publish, okay, that will have about only 30% of the interest, where another user purchased the product, used it, and he shared a post, that will have about 70% of a reach, or rather interest. Okay, that much important, the user generated content. And also 61% of the people would more likely to engage with an advertisement if it contains user-generated contents. So without our well-talented, graphic designer doing a massive graphic design, rather than that, anybody, they share their personal view that has more likely getting more business. So these are the things what you can do. Use the user-generated content to drive more business. Share it on your site, create a social media post, attach a review over a text image, compile into a video. As I mentioned to you, now I am handling a resort in Ahangama from our company, right? So in that resort, all the time we check on the reviews on TripAdvisor, we check on the reviews on Holiday Check, Booking.com, Expedia, Agoda, everywhere we check the reviews. So if there is an extraordinary good review, what we do, we take that review and we create a small artwork and we publish in our social media platforms. So that is a user-generated content, because someone who stayed in the hotel is talking about their experience positively, where that will help a lot of business to come into our business. Yeah. And then these are some sample of a user-generated content. Just watch this. Okay, these two tourists, they have visited Sri Lanka from USA, and they are sharing their experience. So if you can get their consent in sharing their experience in your own social media platform, that is where you have more people engaged. See the other one, people having a king coconut, or when on their route they are experiencing a local food in Sri Lanka, so they are sharing. So these are user generated content, my dear friends. So if you have a good base of your own customers, if you can get all of them, ask them their the experiences that they have with your product or service, if you can get the images or videos, that would be amazing for you to use it for your digital marketing. Okay, so lastly, as I mentioned to you, I'm going to talk a little bit more about online travel agencies, which is Agoda, Booking, Expedia. There are a number of OTAs that we work with. So in digital marketing, this is one more thing, because when you talk about hospitality or tourism industry, online travel agencies also play a vital role. Okay, since I manage this beach resort in Ahangama, we sign up with plenty of these OTAs, and we identify which OTA is more prominent in different markets. For example, we all know Ctrip is a heavy player in China, Agoda, Booking, Expedia, and Hostel World, etc. Make My Trip, in fact, in India. So all of these, you can name some more, but then these are major players in OTAs. So what we do, the online travel agency, I had a privilege of meeting Bas Lemons. He is the founder of Booking.com. 2-3 years ago, there was an event in Colombo, and Bas Lemons came in, and I had personally had a time to chat with him. And he is very super guy, very simple guy. But then he explained why he created Booking.com and what are the benefit using this OTA. So which was a fantastic experience for me. So he said, he started his speech by, do not kill me for introducing parity. You must be knowing a word called parity. Parity is, you can't sell a hotel rate or a room rate lower in your own website, but higher in any OTAs. That is what you call parity. So it has to be equal in any platform. Okay. So he explained why OTAs are important. So I just took little in a bit from that one, and then I would like to show you why. So the benefit for having more online travel agencies is, we often think that we get booking from our website, or we get booking from our travel agents that we work, but OTAs have significant improvement factor, playing a major role in providing you the bookings or the business. So if we take the online market share into consideration, Expedia is covering about 28%, while Priceline.com and Booking.com have shared up to 16 and 19%. So that is a massive market for OTA, and almost like all the bookings, as you can see, major bookings, good number of bookings are coming through the OTAs. Okay, so you need to always think that in mind. This picture will explain everything what I am trying to say. So if you have, I have seen hotels, because I've been invited by Sabaragamuwa Province Tourism Development Board. So I have done a workshop in Kegol district, and I have done a workshop in Ratnapura district. So this is for those district hoteliers association. So when I go and ask a question, in how many OTAs you have registered, everybody, literally everybody says, we are on booking.com, sir, we are on agoda.com. I said, no, you have to change that mindset. You will have to have more OTAs signing up with, so that you get this benefit. So when you have 2 OTAs, okay, maybe you will be getting 5 bookings a day. Where you have more OTAs, then there is more potential or possibility that you can get more bookings per day. Okay, so that is where the online travel agencies are important. But there is another important element when you work with a online travel agency, is because increase your web traffic. Bas Lemons explained, he said, anybody coming to booking.com, they search, they narrow down the city, they narrow down to the preferred star category, and then they see the hotel list in the search result. Okay, say A, B, C, D is the result. Then he said, if the client liked the first image on the booking.com, say for example, the hotel name C, what they do, they go to Google and they type hotel C to find out the hotel website. So what happened was, it gradually give more traffic to your website. Why they do is that they want to study more about the hotel, more what are the services the hotel provide, or what are the experiences that you can have while you stay in a particular property or a hotel. So this is much more important when you do into the hospitality industry. So more visibility, as I said, you are not restricting yourself into a booking.com, agoda.com base. If you sign up with Ctrip, then you are visible in all Chinese speaking countries or destination. Yeah, so things like that. And also you can increase the number of booking, as I showed you in the previous picture. Then attention to the right traveler. Why? Because as I mentioned to you, certain OTAs are much more powerful in different countries. For example, there is a OTA called Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I think we wouldn't have even heard about Mr. and Mrs. Smith. We know booking.com, yes. We know agoda.com, yes. But there's an OTA called Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is actually mostly used by Americans. So this is famous in America. And why don't you get your property signed up with Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Things like that. There are particular market where they use particular OTAs. So if your property is displaying in those OTAs, you are getting the right audience to their attention that you have a property like this. Okay. And also OTA ranking and reviews are influencing the travelers. We know the OTA rankings, we know the reviews they leave on the Google. All these are important to get more traffic and more booking in your system. So you can use a channel manager software. You can manage all OTAs in one go. So there are plenty of technological advancements you already have. And the thing is, I don't have time to explain about that one. Okay, so this is a small snippet I want to show you. The first slide picture shows you where it shows year-on-year growth 841%. This is the property actually I'm managing. Okay, this is after Easter attack. This is in the month of like from the beginning of January 2020 up to a certain date. Okay, we've had a growth rate of this in terms of room night, in terms of average daily rate, in terms of revenue. So it was growing massively. Unfortunately, the pandemic has put a halt on everything. Otherwise, the business was going on well. Even after the Easter attack, it was growing in a very positive way. And also, as you can see in the second picture, that is the Expedia, and the booking.com is the one in the third picture. That shows that whatever the indication shows in green are year on year up, and then the red ones are low, because that's the time where the travelers reduced. I mean, like the number of travelers have gone down coming to Sri Lanka after the Easter attack took place. Okay, so by having more OTS, there is more possibility that you can get more booking in. So the last thing, this is my one of my favorite case study, and I'm going to leave. I'm going to stop the presentation with this case study. Dear friends, it's like this. There is a place in Kenya called Watamu. Okay, it's a beach destination. So in this beach destination, we all know Kenya is growing, and they wanted to do something different in order to get more tourists coming into their destination. So I see this case study is much more relevant for our industry and for our country. Okay, what they have done is, it's a small village, a beach village called Watamu. The hoteliers and the travel companies gathered together. They had a meeting, they discussed, they planned, saying that we need to do something different in order to market our the beach area. So what they did is, they created a brand called Wonder of Watamu. Then what they did was, that's the what you call a very different approach in order to get the attention on the entire world to come into the Watamu. So Watamu is not known by many people, right? I had a privilege of meeting one guy who was involved in the technical team when they did this launch. Okay, so what they did is, since it's a beach destination, they got a turtle, they fixed a GoPro on top of the turtle, and they let the turtle to go into the beach, into the sea, and they live stream that video on all the platforms. So they have not done this before. And this technical guy who told me, there was a big challenge for them to transmit the data from the GoPro. When the turtle goes inside the sea, how do you transmit? So what they said was, they set small fish boats right around, and they fixed Wi-Fi repeaters everywhere, and they live streamed that turtle going inside the sea. It was a wonderful video which we watched in that small presentation. So what they did was, in that launch day, they have requested their, I think one of the ministers, maybe tourist minister or prime minister, they have requested some ministers to come for that opening ceremony. And the thing is, he didn't come just by in a vehicle. He came and he used a parachute to come into that destination. So they convinced him to do a parachute jump. So he came, and that was also broadcast live. So what happened was, this Watamu, the village which is unknown, has become a hot spot for especially European travelers who look for beach destination. This is by the way, this is in Kenya. So purely how they market is by using digital platform, that is YouTube live streaming and Facebook. They've created a website called Wonder of Watamu. If you Google and find out more information about this one, I'm sure you will be surprised the way that they have launched this digital campaign. So with that note, I'm going to stop this, and then we will be moving into the Q&A sessions, I believe. Thank you so much for listening for 1.5 hours.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sanjeev. I think you are so smart. You stop at the right time by exactly 6:30. So we are having the 30 minutes for the discussion.
Yeah.
So when it comes for the digital marketing, actually, this is more practical subject, more practical area where it needs to have a lot of in-hand practices. So, but
yeah.
yes, so but I think, Mr. Sanjeev, you try to give the best, and you try to explain and clarify those terms within this short time of period. So my big thanks goes to you.
Thank you.
So we are moving ahead for the Q&A session. So I think the audience is quite interesting for the topic, and so we are getting so many questions continuously. So I will pick a few questions, and I will read the questions for you, Mr. Sanjeev.
Yeah.
So Dakshina Navodaya is asking about these Facebook shops.
Okay.
So would it be another e-commerce platform or something different? So he needs to ask more about this Facebook shop.
Yeah, Facebook shop. I think you must have seen the recent launch about Facebook shop. So we all know Mark Zuckerberg is very clever. So what has happened was, yeah, he converted the social media into a e-commerce platform where understanding the requirement. We all know that I mean, like literally all countries are affected with this COVID-19. Everybody is at home. And so we were actually, myself and another friend of mine, we had a chat about this one about 2-3 months ago, or at the beginning of the pandemic issue. We actually had a discussion. We said, I'm not going to surprise if Mark Zuckerberg is going to convert or come up with a shopping thing, and there you go, it's there. So yeah, it's going to be a massive hit in terms of e-commerce for sure, because he has the old database. He know the pattern. I mean, like that data is there in Facebook, from the age to the interest to whatever you do. For example, we take a picture and we post, so they know what brand we like to wear. So then it's easy for them to do the marketing. So it's going to be a massive hit.
Okay. So the same person is asking about another question relevant to the social media. So what type of tools we can use to run the marketing campaigns in different social media?
Okay. As I mentioned to you, there is one called Buffer.
Yeah.
So if you Google Buffer, you can find out. And I have used a few others, those are paid one. Actually, you need to pay and get that service. So what we do, you design one artwork and you can schedule a particular time to be posted, and then those will be automatically published in that time. So there is Buffer, and there was what are those others? Can't quickly remember, but if you put Buffer and if you go to Similar Web and find, you will get all the information on that.
Yes. So what about the programmatic advertising that we can run on social media?
Sorry, pardon?
Programmatic advertising that we can run on social media, what type of sites that you can suggest?
Well, what about LinkedIn? I think for LinkedIn is a good one if you are thinking about programmatic marketing. But of course, when you take the cost wise, doing a paid advertisement on LinkedIn is much expensive. But I believe that's a good channel to do those kind of things, because I believe that LinkedIn is something that is very different from rest of the social media platforms. So you can't do much of a selling and marketing type of things in LinkedIn, but then you can use these kind of programming ones or marketing ones in LinkedIn channel. Of course, Twitter, don't forget. Twitter is used massively, so that can be another channel.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, so Dhananjay Herath is asking about what are the best Google Analytics tools for the website?
Okay, so he already given the name actually in the question.
Yes, Google itself.
So yeah, Dhananjay, you have mentioned it's Google Analytic tool. Yeah, so Google Analytic itself a massive tool where you can get hell a lot of details about the user pattern, what time the users are coming in, where they are exiting from, what is their behavioral pattern, and all sort of detail that you can take it from. And also especially what are the pages are mostly visited by. So everything, even if you talk about any other third-party tools, but they take the API of Google Analytics and they create a different way of displaying the report. That is what I know. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Lakshila Dedunu is asking about the blogging. It's why is blogging valuable? So what's
blogging is actually valuable. So it is like the influential marketing. Yeah. So any blogger is famous for any particular say or product or his brand, things like that. So there are bloggers who are travel bloggers. There are fashion bloggers, right? There are IT bloggers or tech savvy bloggers. So we know different bloggers are there to be used as option for us to use as an influential marketing. So if you do That is one for bloggers. But blogging, why blogging is valuable? There are people who spend a lot of time on reading, right? So it's not only just a video advertisement or a post that you see on Facebook, and then you convince them to do a purchasing, or convincing them to make a decision on buying something online. So that's the reason blogging is more valuable, where you can give more in-depth detail about why you should purchase, why from us, kind of all the questions can be clearly defined and explained by blogging your details. I believe that's the reason blogging is still available and still valuable.
Yes, so hope we have answered your question.
Yeah.
And with that, I would like to go back to the social media.
Yeah.
So I think this question actually, I'm asking the question, and I think it will be helpful for the students as well.
Yeah.
So what are the tools you are using to measure the return on investment in social media marketing?
Yeah, remember there was a slide that I shared from the from Facebook Ad Manager.
Mm-hmm.
So using Facebook Ad Manager, you can see how much of a money you have spent on a particular post, and you can measure how many impressions you have got from that. Okay, say X amount of money spent, Y amount of impressions we have seen, and A amount of result we have got. Okay, so from the A amount of result we have got, obviously, say if it is 100,000, or say take a small number, if the result is 100, then we need to go back to our backend team to see how many sales or how many inquiries got materialized. So when you do that math only, you will be able to find out your return on investment. For me, when you talk about digital marketing, it is like this. So it is not as straightforward return on investment. Yeah. So displaying your advertisement to 1,000,000 people itself is an achievement, because they don't know about our product. So you put a $10 and your impression is about 25,000, which is a good result. So it depends on each and every different organization or company, Sandharwani.
Yeah.
And it depends on their each goal. As I mentioned to you, the SMART goal. Remember the SMART goal? So it has to be their plan plus the goal, so that you know how to measure it very well. But what we do is we measure in that way. I recommend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any paid tools?
No.
No.
As far as I know, no.
Okay. Thank you. And then I will pick up another question that is relevant with search engine optimization.
Mm-hmm.
So Dakshana is again asking about what is the best SEO type, whether it is paid or organic.
You need to have both.
Both.
It is like right hand and left hand. You should have both in order to clap.
Okay.
That simple as that.
Short and sweet, no?
Yeah.
Yes. And so he's asking another question.
Mm-hmm.
So does the mobile responsiveness play a role in SEO?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Because as I told you before, if you Google Google for SEO free tool, if you just Google SEO free tool, you will get about hundreds of page results. Pick one or two sites, put your URL on that page, okay, click analyze button, it will analyze and it will show you your response is weak, fix it. So which means in analyzing the website, if your website is mobile responsive, there is massive you have a very good advantage of having a good page rank and the page SRP or search result page.
Okay. So
Yeah,
next
clear?
question also from the same SEO.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will read the question for you.
Yeah.
Can we do SEO for our contents and products in other platforms rather than Google, like for the YouTube, App Store?
Absolutely, yes. You can do. I will tell you a good example. Maybe if everybody is listening, you can go to your YouTube right now and you can type yeah, hands-on experience you need, yeah, in digital marketing. So maybe you can go to your YouTube and type crisis management in tourism, CRISIS management, crisis management in tourism. Can you tell me what is the search result on first? Rudmi, are you doing? No.
I think it's your one.
No, I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Wait.
So go to your YouTube, type crisis management in tourism. Yeah. So what happened was there was one just a small video taken in a normal phone, but I have a channel, so I just uploaded it. But I optimized the pay.
So my guess is correct. It's
Is
your
it,
video, crisis management in tourism.
So it's a first result, yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine. Now I'm not a big shot in the industry, but there are PhD holders, there are doctors, there are lecturers, there are so many people have given the same topic in their video. But how my result is coming on top is by optimizing on Google, on YouTube. Okay, so using the proper keyword, using the proper title, that's all. I didn't pay anything. Okay, cool.
Yes. So, and I will pick another question. Does the Google Keyword Planner show the voice keywords?
Yeah. When you talk, so if the Google Keyword Planner, if you search for any keyword phrase or any keyword sentence, what it gives is what is mostly used in the past. So you can use the same phrases or keyword in order to optimize your voice search as well, because it will be the same. So there is no different tool that is available for you to find what is the best keyword to use for voice search. Is that clear, Sandravani?
Yeah, I hope. Yes. And the same time, yes. So this question is regarding the cookies in websites. So Dakshina needs to know what do the cookies actually do in websites?
Okay, so cookies stores our information. Okay, basically what happened was any website that allows, if you go to a website, it will ask you to allow cookies to use your information into their website, right? But with the GDPR, which is the Global Data Protection Regulation, there is a mandatory that all you need to ask permission for the user to give a permission to use the cookie or allow the cookie to come to our website, take the information or not. So bearing in mind, this was not that spoken topic in the past, but when the GDPR is implemented, cookies play a biggest role in any website. So you need to allow a user, you need to give the option for user to allow the cookies or not, because it's all dependent on GDPR. So GDPR stands for Global Data Protection Regulation, which is launched, I think, last year, April, or previous year, April. So that's very much important.
Okay, so hope Dakshina, you got the answer.
Yeah.
So the another question, it's regarding the user generated content. So are UGC part of earned medias?
I would say earned medias, yeah. So what we do is we are requesting a people's experience to be shared with us, and then we market using that content. So then those are type of earned medias as well. So we pay and we get the contents from them, and it is similar. Your own clientele or your own customers who have experienced your product or service, we are with their consent or with their permission, we are getting their content and using for marketing material. So it's a part of earned content as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mr. Sanjeev, I would like to, so I'm having a question, so I would like to raise it. So what about the chatbot marketing? How do you feel the importance of chatbot marketing for the nowadays?
Yeah. Actually, that's a very good one. Even in fact, I forgot to have it in any of my slides, to be honest. it's becoming very popular nowadays. Initially, I was not big fan of that, to be really honest with you. Say about now it's about 6-7 years ago. This chat is there always, and what we do when somebody asks a question, there is an auto responder, right? We know all that is a robot thing.
Yes.
So I used to,
Artificial.
yeah, I used to hate it, because why I am approaching a website to chat is to talk to someone from the other side to get some information back, right? It is not my requirement is not to talk to a robot, yeah. But now I can see there is a massive shift in using chatbots in order to grab informations, in order to get the details, in order to get the user requirements. I think for that everybody is using, but still I'm not a big fan of chatbots.
Yeah.
This is my personal view, but there can be different views altogether. But my personal view is a user coming to a website and asking for a chat is not for a robot to answer.
Okay.
So, okay, I'll tell you one more thing and finish on that sentence. When I was working in that UK company, remember there was these autoresponders. I used to, since I always fight because it's my way. Then they said actually we had 2% responding to the chats, and whenever they are not available, only we say we are away, and then send us a message or something like that. But we market that chat as we are human to reply. So that was the pop-up image shows. So
Yeah.
there was
Just to give the human touch upon.
exactly.
Okay, so I had the same type of experiences. So some cases actually they are working well for in requiring and inquiring into the information, but in some cases, so they become a kind of a headache for us at the same time.
Exactly. See, that's the problem. So that ruins your brand image.
Yeah.
Altogether. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. And I will pick another question from the audience. Yes, it's about OTAs.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the tools to find out OTAs that match with the clientele that we are catering for?
No. There is no such tools to find out which OTA is for the better clientele. It's like
Yes.
you need to understand. Okay, Expedia. This is a known factor. Expedia is the biggest player in India. Even though we think about Booking and Agoda, but sorry, in India, it's a big player. And also, when you talk about Expedia, in European countries, they use Expedia more than Booking.com. So certain regions, as I mentioned to you, but there is no direct tool that you put which country uses which OTA. But then with the experiences, with the past visits coming in, with the past booking patterns we analyze, so certain countries are heavily using Agoda, certain countries are heavily using Booking.com. In fact, I had a big argument with one of our own Chinese staff. I said, why everybody is talking about Ctrip, why not Booking.com? And her reply was, actually Ctrip is their favorite one because they have already installed their payment method, Alipay, everything is installed in that platform. That's the reason they feel more comfortable using that one rather than any other OTA. So there are advantages and disadvantages for users' point of view in using different OTAs, and that's the reason they are heavily used in different countries.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sanjeev.
No problem.
So this question again from my side. So when it referring to the destination, the Sri Lanka taken as a destination. So what type of digital techniques that we can enhance to market the destination? So what's your view on the current progress of the promotion side?
Okay, you are talking about as a country as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah, as a destination as a whole. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I have already seen, that we all know Sri Lanka is very potential in terms of everything in one go. Yeah. So I always say when we do the promotional materials and marketing, so there are two or three different things I can talk about. One is doing things on digitally. One is when you go on sales, especially on the trade shows. promoting our country as a destination. Yeah, and then other things, actually DMC is coming and involving and doing the marketing for the destination. So these are the main three which I can think of. So all these three different avenues or three different methods can practice three different ways of marketing the destination. But what I believe is by showing why they should come and stay in Sri Lanka, why they should come and experience Sri Lanka, is the question that we always have to ask before we do any promotion or marketing. Okay, because that is the most important thing. So I always, even I have had long discussions, long arguments when we do on the sales trade shows and stuff like that. Why don't you use the VR box? Why don't you give the VR box for them to experience? Okay, this is how it's going to be when you come to Sri Lanka. So that kind of a technical, advancements we need to use. Why don't you use augmented reality? Show them in their on the table. Show them this is how Sigiriya is built. This is why this is so important for you to come and experience Sri Lanka. So all that technical advancement, I think we are not using up to the level that it can be used for, in my personal view. So if you do one, actually digitally, yeah, you have the limitations. Yeah, you can do the YouTube videos, or you can do the social medias, and you can do the website promotion. Okay, you can do. But then if you do your trade shows and marketings and things like that, you can definitely do in a different way by showcasing our products using different methods, like going into more digital.
Yes, definitely. So
Yeah.
With that, actually, I think this question also coming from me, actually, because that might be helpful for the students.
Mm-hmm.
So normally when it comes for the hotels, so hotels are displaying the different rates in OTAs, which is totally different from the official site rates.
Yeah.
So can you please explain the rationality behind this?
Okay. Remember, when I met Bas Lemons, the founder of Booking.com, I mentioned that before. So he started his conversation, or he started his presentation saying, "Don't get together and kill me," for introducing parity. So there is a thing called parity, Chandravani. So parity is, again I'm explaining, say you are advertising in your website, the room rate is $50, for example. Okay, one deluxe room is $50, and you are selling in Booking.com, say $60. Why? Considering that you will have to pay about 12%, 15% commission, etc., to Booking.com. Okay, this is the thinking that each and every hotelier have. Why should I? Because I need to pay commission, I need to increase my price in Booking.com. But where I'm not paying commission for my direct booking, that's why I'm selling at $50. Okay, this is your concern, right? But what what the Bas Lemon says, that he said, I have my research and development team, I have my platform for you to come and sell your property or market your property. So for that, I am spending a lot of money. And then you are selling, when you sell lower than my price, obviously I'm not going to promote your website. So there is a algorithm that they have already developed for a particular period of time. If our hotel rate is, our own website hotel rate is, or we call brand site, huh? So if our brand site rate is lower than, for example, Booking.com, they can even block our listing displaying on Booking.com. They can do that. So that is the reason why it has to be equal in all platforms, even though that you pay 15% commission to the Booking.com, but then that's how it works.
Sanjeev, why it has become in the official site, they are promoting a much bigger rate than the OTAs?
You asked the other way around.
Other way around, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think I didn't get that properly then initially. Okay, so if they are promoting higher rate in their own website, but OTAs are less, okay, it can be very tricky now. Since I am handling this hotel, yeah, we do. But to be honest, we do practice the same rate everywhere. but there are properties who do in a different way. Okay, what I have seen like this in OTA, what you can do is sell a room for BB, half board, and full board. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, but when you talk about the brand side, you can even create a package and put. It can be different, okay, which I have seen. You put the price as 50, but where in your website you will put 100, but where you will have more value added services in it altogether. But if it is only the rooms displaying in the same platform, then that is definitely a parity where any hotel will have problem later on, because the algorithm is automated. They will identify, because that's the reason. Now, for example, even if the hotel that I am managing, if there is a $2-3 variation in the pricing, even among the other OTAs also, they send a screenshot and they say, look here, the price is low, higher in our site, where lower in other OTA. Please fix. So just imagine how powerful the algorithm is. So this is happening even for the website. So what I have experienced in the past is that even I have recommended, okay, we can put the price higher in our brand site, but we will give value added services like a spa treatment free, some extra etc services free, things like that. You can have value added services.
Yes, so I think you have answered it in a very proper way. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
Because most of the time, those are kind of questions for the student, even though they have not raised in this forum. That is why I need to make it clear for them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
And so, Mr. Sanjeev, a lot of students are asking about what would be the recommended courses in relevant to this digital marketing field.
Yeah, I know. Well, even when I came last time, I mean, like last 2 times when I came and did the presentation, it was the question by many. But okay, I'm a bit, how can I say? Since I have not personally experienced, or since I have personally not engaged with anybody, it's really difficult for me to comment on any institutions or any organization, to be really honest with you.
Yes.
But if there is anyone who is really interested in knowing more details, maybe you can get that information and pass it to me. Maybe I will talk to some of the institutions and see what can be done. This is for students again.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Sanjeev. I think with that, we are going to end the Q&A session.
Mm-hmm.
And so thank you very much, Mr. Sanjeev, for taking your time and be a part of this session, for the sharing of your valuable knowledge with the students.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you very much. So as a big thanks should goes for you on behalf of the Department of Tourism Management of the Faculty of Management Studies of the Sabaragamuwa University. I think in whatever the thing that we are asking you, you are there to say yes. So thank you very much for being such a positive and such a supportive person who joined hand with us for more than 3 years of time. I think nearly 3 years, no?
Yes.
Yes, so thank you very much, Mr. Sanjeev. And so at the same time, I would like to thank all the participants who have joined and who have been with us until the end of this session. Raising your questions and taking all them into the discussion forum. So thank you very much for your valuable participation. We value them a lot. And with that, I would like to remind about our next webinar will be the final one in this series of Learn from Industry Intellects. So it will be on the 4th, it will be on the 4th of June. That means the coming Thursday, starting at the same time like today, 5 to 7 in the evening. So I would like to invite you all to join with us for the last or the 7th webinar of this series. So with that, thank you very much for all. Thank you, Mr. Sanjeev, once again. And so we are going to wind up the session. So until we meet up next time, so have a safe stay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks everyone. Thank you.
Yes. Good night to you all.
Good night. Bye.